Hey everybody, Nice Link here. I'm going to do a little something different today. A little something different than the normal Let's Play or occasional YouTube style podcast that I do. I kind of want to do a little editorial today. And I'm bringing out the camera for this one because I really want to get some things across and I want to go over some things. First off, let's talk a little bit about E3. E3, I think it went great for all of the consoles. Sony, a little bit of a weird presentation. A lot of like special effects on the stage and stuff like that. But they did announce some good games and some games that people wanted. I'm not much of a Sony person right now because I don't have a PS4, so I'm a little bit out of the Sony loop. I haven't had a PlayStation since the 3, and that was like halfway through the cycle. I was going through stuff at the time and had to sell my PS3, so I'm a little behind on Sony, but I am a fan of Sony's, and I want them to succeed. Then you go into Microsoft. They were actually first. I should have mentioned them first. Microsoft, really, really good. Announcing the backwards compatibility for the original Xbox games, which that's pretty cool. There was a sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest announced, which that's right up my alley. I have played the Ori and the Blind Forest original, and it's definitely one of my favorite games, like within the last 10 years. And I know a lot of people who agree with me on that statement. Dang good game. They announced a few other games that looked pretty good. I forget the name, but there was that 3D platformer with the little fox that looked like something right out of like 90s Rare. Looked really fun. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll probably pick that up. And then we go into Nintendo, which is probably why you're all here and why I'm here today. Nintendo, what can I say? They've done it again. A new Yoshi game is coming. It's got like some kind of paper aesthetic to it. Looks really adorable. I don't know how they can get more adorable than Yoshi's Epic Yarn, but they might with this. Mario Odyssey, we saw a lot more of Mario Odyssey. And that game looks absolutely fantastic. And may have one of the most catchiest songs with in-game character Pauline singing a beautiful, cute little song called One Up Girl. I'm sure you've all heard it by now. It's really catchy. I really hope Pauline ends up with an amiibo. That would be really cool. But the big announcement... it shook us all to the core because I think after 6 years of absolutely nothing and our wants being ignored, we finally had our day. We finally got Metroid. And not just Metroid, but Metroid Prime 4 is coming to for the Nintendo Switch. They didn't show any gameplay or anything like that. It was just a teaser with the screw attack and the number 4, and that was it. That's all we needed. All we needed to know, Nintendo, is are you even on it? And they proved it, and they showed it, and they're like, okay, we hear you. Here you go. Now get off our butts. But of course, we got to get on to about something else. So I guess we'll just redouble our efforts into getting F-Zero. But anyways, we're getting that, but not just that. Not just that at all. We're getting a Metroid game for the 3DS too. And not just any Metroid, it's actually a remake of a classic game. Metroid 2 Return of Samus was originally for the Game Boy. Now, if any of you have followed my channel, you saw recently that I played a little bit of AM2R, which is a fan-made remake of Metroid 2. In fact, that's AM2R means another Metroid 2 remake. And you'll know a lot. I go into a lot more details on how I feel about the Metroid series. It's probably been my second or third favorite franchise in all of video games. And I didn't even grow up with it, shockingly enough. I was a late bloomer. A couple friends of mine got me into Metroid about, 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. And I'd played it a few times. I'd played Prime some, like back when it first came out, but never hugely got into it. And that was my first Metroid game. I didn't have the first Metroid on the NES. I didn't have Super Metroid on the SNES, and I might have played Metroid 2 at a friend's Game Boy, maybe. But I vaguely remember that. I was like 9, so forgive me. I've played a lot of video. I've probably played so many video games. I've probably forgotten more than I've played. But I really didn't get into Metroid around the time, like maybe about, Metro. Well, let's put it like this: Other M was still on video game shelves, like as a new game, like not even as a used. It was still pretty new when they got me into it. But yeah, this is a remake. It's called. They changed the name to Samus's Return. It's complete remake. It's not like, a lot of people confuse remakes with ports. I really should have X'd out of Facebook. But people do get those two things confused, and, it's very common confusion. A port is like Wind Waker HD. That's the same game with the same graphics, just, brightened up for HD. That's basically a port. Add a couple features like tingle bottles and take away some of the Triforce things. But that's basically a port. It's not really a remake. A remake is something you build from the scratch. Build it from, you remake the game. You start over and you make the same game, but with completely different graphics and, updated stuff. And that's what they've done. And they've added, they've given they've given Samus new abilities. And they've given her, some new features, like you can, you have a scope on your gun and stuff like that, and that's kind of cool. I'm really looking forward to that. And now shit tons of amiibo. Whoa, gosh, Nintendo with the amiibo, you're killing me. Them things are anywhere between $12 to $16 a piece. Thank goodness though, these amiibo are like some of them are in July. There's some in September. Some of them are probably going to be out in October. So they're spread out. And I don't have to go and spend $300 on just amiibos, because I want to save up for an Xbox One. But yeah, the Mario, there's 3 new Mario. There's a Mario, Peach, and Bowser, and they're all in their white wedding looking outfits. So, that's pretty cool. I think it'd be kind of cool if, at the end of Super Mario Odyssey, when you save Peach, Mario and Peach were we're here, we're in these outfits, why don't we finally do it? Let's get married. That'd be kind of cute. But anyways, they got those are cool. Fire Emblem Warriors, that was another game, they gave us more information about that. There's going to be, new characters and stuff. Typical Warriors stuff. Nothing really major to announce there, but they gave them a couple amiibo as well. The Breath of the Wild got 4 new amiibos, and the 4 champions, and they look great. Especially the Urbosa looks awesome. Daruk looks awesome too. They all look awesome. Miva's face looks a little odd, but she's still adorable. And of course, there was also stuff announced that wasn't on stream and stuff that just came through. There was still reaffirmation that Pikmin 4 is still a thing. I know a lot of people kind of assumed that, hey, Pikmin was the Pikmin 4 that Miyamoto had mentioned in an interview a year ago or whatever, but it was revealed through an interview that Pikmin 4 is still in development. So we, have 2 Pikmin games upcoming. We got Hey Pikmin next month, and then somewhere, I'm assuming maybe 2018. I think that'd be a really good, early year, January, February title myself. I don't know how far in development it is. But so many, Nintendo just hit a home run with this. I felt like with Nintendo, they hit all the right spots that they needed to hit. Microsoft hit all the right spots they needed to hit. And Sony hit all the right spots that they needed to hit. It seems like fans of all these consoles came out happy. Ubisoft, They gave a good conference too, and really good games coming out themselves. You know, they got the Mario and Rabbids game, which is like this tactical thing that looks really different and neat, and you know, I'll probably pick that up. It comes out like a day before my birthday, so that's going to be on my list. Like, gosh, Nintendo in my wallet, come on. And you know, they announced a bunch of games that look just beautiful that I'm going to get. EA, Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's barely all I can comment on. I don't play, you know, sports games. Ever since EA stopped making ML or MVP baseball games, I haven't played an EA game since 2005. That's the last time I touched an EA sports game. There was like a Lord of the Rings game, I think, that came out like a year or two after that I bought, and that was about it. But yeah, I was very happy with everything this year. I'm also not a hard person to please, but you know, be sure in the comments to tell me what you thought of E3. I want to know what everybody watching this has thought of E3. I want to know the negative and the positive, though. Don't just come down here and like just agree with me. If you've got something that you are unhappy about, like if you thought a game just looked like it was total garbage, tell me. I want to hear about that. I like hearing different views. And I want to hear like did something not get announced? Were you upset that there was no information on Virtual Console, no F-Zero, no Mother 3 coming to the United States? You know, no Half-Life 3 to keep that being going. You know, was there anything you wanted announced that didn't get announced, or is there anything that did get announced that you were kind of disappointed in by looking? Another game that I thought looked good was that new Spider-Man game, but then again, it also kind of looked like every other Spider-Man game that's ever been out, which may not be a bad thing. It may not be. There's some good Spidey games out there. But another subject I want to touch on today is the subject of console wars. I've been kind of wanting to do a video about this for a while, and I feel like this is a good time to talk about it, since the entire gaming community is kind of looking at each other right now. I'm seeing a lot of comments on like IGN message boards, Facebook, places like that I go and read, you know, because I like to filter through people and see what the consensus is thinking, so to speak. I like to see, you know, I like to keep my finger on the pulse of the video game community, because, you know, I'm like that. But I'd like to know what it is with people in console wars. It's not the 90s anymore. Sega started this crap years and years ago. It's like, you know, when you had Atari, and you had all these other consoles like Commodore and all this other stuff that was out in the early, you know, late 70s and early 80s, they weren't trying to gut each other. They just existed and tried to make money the best they could with whatever they could. And then, you know, Nintendo came along and they kind of saved everybody's ass and pulled the gaming industry out of the freaking gutter, and, you know, everything was looking good again. And then here comes Sega. Now, I'm going to go on the record to say I have owned both a Sega Genesis and a Dreamcast in my life, and I like Sega. I like the Sonic franchise. I'm a huge fan of Sonic. I own almost every single Sonic game that has ever been put out. But they started this crap in the 90s of trashing the competition. Now, I understand this is a business tactic, and it just isn't exclusive to video games. We've watched the McDonald's and Burger King wars of them trashing each other public. You see it in politics, but it just gets old, you know? It just, like, it's one thing to see, like, these commercials, like, you know, Sega does what Nintendo don't. But, you know, when you got fans trashing each other, that's something else. That's what gets to me. That's what grinds my gears, you know, like Peter Griffin would say on Family Guy. You know, you go on like these IGN message boards, like I looked at one earlier today. What was it? IGN named Super Mario Odyssey this year's E3 best game and show, or whatever they call it. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. It wasn't my number one game of the year. it was up there. Like, I'd say at least top 5. But, you know, definitely the Metroid game was my favorite. And I'm biased as hell. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to pretend to lie there. It's just what I like. You know, it's like, you know, I've had Mario games forever, but I haven't had a Metroid in like 6 years, so I'm more than ready. But, and then you get people in the comments, oh, Nintendo fanboys must be creaming themselves. Like, really, dude? And you're like, didn't you get these guys that come in here and like say stuff like, oh, look at the little retarded Nintendo fans in your baby game. It's like, you're calling us little kids, but you're the one talking like that in a public forum. Okay, then. Your logic has failed you. See, the thing is, it doesn't matter what game I play. It doesn't matter what game you play to someone else. At least it shouldn't. I play Mario. I play Zelda. I play Metroid. I play Kirby. I play Crash Bandicoot. I play Sonic. I play MVP Baseball 2005 to this day. I also play Mahjong. I play Plants vs. Zombies. I play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out sometimes when I feel angry and let out my anger. Play the Wii one too. And I've also played Resident Evil games. I like those too. I like to shoot some mindless freaking hordes of zombies. Hell, it's fun. Who doesn't want to kill zombies? Mindless things that don't matter anyway, right? Yeah, but the only person in the world that matters to me, and it should matter to me, is me. Because that's what I like. And the fact that people get angry and bully each other over what they play is absolutely stupid. And I see this sadly, you know, I'm part of a lot of communities. You know, I'm big into comic books, pro wrestling, movies, TV. You know, I have a good plethora of things I enjoy. I'm a baseball fan as well. But nowhere near as much in video games do I see this. And that makes me sad. And I blame the 90s for it. It's a 90s mindset that has always been bullcrap. It's always been stupid. I've never been a fan of that line of thought. It's like, you know, even when I was a kid, you know, I would see people, you know, kids at school would tease each other over, and I'd be like, why can't we just enjoy both? You know, I didn't have a Sega Genesis as a kid, but I did have a Sega Game Gear, and I had a freaking Super Nintendo and an NES and Game Boys. You know, we had a Commodore 64, we had an Atari 2600, we had different consoles because we didn't look at it like, oh, it's just Nintendo. We looked at it, it's like, these are video games, and they're all fun. Yeah, there's shitty video games too, but hell, there's shitty video games on every console. You look at Nintendo, they got bad games. I'm not going to sit here and name what I think is bad games, because I don't want to start, you know, a flame war in the comments section, because if I told y'all what I thought was bad games, you probably want to kick my ass. But, seriously, people, stop picking on each other over video games. That's the most asinine thing that anybody could do to another person, is pick on somebody because of that's something they like. That's something that makes them happy. If I want to play Kirby's Epic Yarn, the biggest baby game ever made by Nintendo, you can't even die in it, I'm going to play it, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to enjoy it because it's adorable and cute and funny, and it's got challenges in it. It's a challenging, fun little game. If I want to pick up Halo and go shoot some freaking, you know, go shoot some people, go freaking let it out and I'm going to do it. If I want to pick up the Master Sword and go stab Ganon in the face and tell him to suck it, I'm going to freaking do that too. And it's not going to have any consequence to your life to your brother's life, to your husband or your sister or your wife or your cousin or your grandma or your grandpa. It's not going to affect you or your family or your friends in any way unless I happen to be online shooting one of them in the face with a giant cartoon looking gun that shoots paint out of it. Stop picking on each other, people. It makes you look like the little kid that you're calling the other person. That's what that does. It makes you look like a child. Stop it. I'm 35 years old and I've been playing video games since before the NES was even thought of. I was playing video games when games like Pac-Man and Q*bert and Chopper Command and Asteroids were the all of the fucking world. I've been playing that long. You know, I can remember a day when Mario was not a thing. I could remember a day when Link was something in the imagination of Shigeru Miyamoto. Donkey Kong was there. He's always been there. He's always going to be there, too. Because he's awesome. And we love that tie-wearing crazy ape. Not because we want to look cool in the eyes of some idiot on the internet who obviously doesn't have a life, but because he gives us joy. Because his games are fun. Anyways, that rant is over. A little bit of page news. Over on the Zelda Legend of Zelda Nice Links Hub on Facebook, where I'm sure most of you are watching this, I want to say thank you for another milestone. We are currently, I'm going to look here just to make freaking sure I have this number right. Because I don't want to be wrong, because I'm terrible remembering numbers. Yes, 56,000. That's what I thought. 56,000 likes. Thank you all so much. We hit that just a couple days ago as the time I'm recording this. And thank you all for that. Appreciate you. You're all lovable little imps. I want to pinch your cheeks. I want to pinch them all. But yeah, I love you guys. Yeah, just keep bringing them in. I'm gonna get this channel back to being active. I had a lot of things keeping me from recording lately. I have been a busy man. I've been working on my house. I've been doing things, and I just haven't had time to record. I've wanted to. I want to get back into Yoshi's Island, and I've got some plans for stuff coming up afterwards. I know a lot of you enjoyed my interview with Patricia Somerset over on the page. That was a treat, and she is an absolute sweetheart of a woman. They could not have picked a more classy and more dignified person to voice Princess Zelda. Say what you want about the voice itself. It may not be perfect, but the person behind the voice is an absolute doll. I love her. She's awesome. Thank you again, Patricia Somerset, for working with us and answering our questions and making us that sweet little video that we posted up on YouTube a couple weeks ago. Also, upcoming, I plan to do more of these kind of videos of me just kind of ranting about things or talking about something or giving my insights on stuff. I like doing this kind of things. I kind of want to steer away from what everybody else does on the internet, though. Everybody does this with, like, you know, majorly awesome cameras and all of the, you know, clips and stuff like that. I kind of want to make this more intimate. I want this to be as dirt poor looking, because I'm dirt poor. I couldn't afford all that camera stuff anyway. I kind of want to keep doing it like this, though, because I like doing it like this. And I feel like it fits me. Like, this is what fits me and my personality. And I feel like you guys like this, too. So, let's keep doing it like this. What do you say? But, oh, I didn't talk about Breath of the Wild DLC. Yeah, DLC coming out for Breath of the Wild. Dropping in 2 weeks. The first of 2 announced. We're getting Master Mode, which is like, it's basically Hero Mode. Like, basically, all of the characters in the game, as most of you well know, are in color tiers. Like, the weakest are red, then there's blue, black, white, and silver. Or not black and silver. Whites. The whites are the silver ones. So it kind of goes in that order. So in this one, it's like everything goes up. The red ones are gone. I'm assuming there's going to be no red ones. And it's going to be blue. As soon as you start, you got to deal with the blue guys. Then you got the black ones, the silver ones. And now, I don't know if this is true with the Moblins and the Bokoblins, but they did say that there would be gold Lynels. Yeah. As if them guys weren't hard enough already. We now have more to deal with. So we got that. We got this other mode. I forget what they're calling it. But, like, you go and it's kind of like this game's version of the Cave of Ordeals. Like, you're going to go into a room and you got to deal with a bunch of enemies. And you don't have anything either. Like, if you beat the game and you've got, like, every suit of armor and everything, you're not going to be able to take in anything. It's just going to be naked Link. His willy's going to be flapping around. No, I'm not kidding about that. No, he's going to have the boxers, the blue shorts on. And that's it. You do have your runes. It's kind of like on that island at Evetide Island or whatever it's called, where you had that Hinox, and you had to get the 3 balls into the pedestals. It's kind of like that, except without the balls. But it's like that, and you got to go in several rooms, and you don't get to take your weapons with you, and you know, there's even a little bit of puzzle solving in there too. So that's going to be really cool. And then for DLC 2, they announced this Champions thing, which I'm assuming this is where the amiibo is going to come into effect. And all it showed was Cass saying, "Do you want to hear the song of the Champions?" So we're going to find out what that is sooner or later. So that's going to be fun. So here in a couple weeks. Oh yeah, we also get the Korok mask. Korok mask in DLC 1, making them damn Koroks a lot easier. I have like 450 of them. How many do you have? Tell me in the comments. I want to know. It's like, has any of my friends found all 900 of those little boogers without this Korok mask? Because if you did, props. You're awesome. In fact, if you want to send me a screenshot of it on Facebook that you got all 900 Koroks, I will post it up on the 56,000 fan liked page and pay you props. I ain't gonna send you no money or nothing because I'm broke. I'm poor. That's why I don't have like googly stuff at the bottom of the screen and clips to show. But I will do that. I'll give you props to 56,000 plus people. Anyways, that's going to be all for today. This has been real fun. I like doing this. I'm going to do this more often because I like to talk. Wolfpack in the house. Everybody have fun. Peace.